Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rose Writes and I write and narrate Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction. Shout out to Talon Art on Instagram. They are amazing and have a bunch of incredible art, so they will be linked below, so be sure to check them out on Instagram. Here's the second part of my birthday story, so if you haven't seen the first part, I will link it below. Now then, please enjoy Kisses and Birthday Wishes, Part 2. Marinette paced back and forth along her bedroom floor, running her hands through her hair. Marinette, are you okay? You've been like this for a few hours. Her tiny red Kwame Tiki asked as she flitted around her holder. Her big blue eyes widened with concern. No, Tiki, I am clueless. I've known Cat for at least 4 years, but I have no idea what to do for his birthday. Marinette stopped her tireless pacing to slump down on her chaise longue. Her Kwame sat on her shoulder, then nuzzled her cheek. I'm sure anything you do will be great, Marinette. Honestly, I think you would be fine with a ball of yarn. Tiki giggled, her bell-like laugh making her owner smile for half a second. Marinette sighed, holding her head in her hands. You don't understand, Tiki. It has to be something extra special. He's never had a normal birthday. Cat is the best partner a bug could ask for. He deserves to feel special. I wish I knew who his friends were. I'd invite them and... Her voice faded. I've got it, Tiki. What are you talking about? Got what? Tiki squeaked as her older quickly jumped up frantically. No time, Tiki. I've got to hurry. Spots on. With a blinding flash, Tiki was sucked into Marinette's earrings, protesting the entire time. She felt terrible about not explaining her plan, but she had to prepare. Tomorrow was Cat's birthday, and there was a lot to do, and it would be a late night. Marinette slipped her bug phone off her waist. Her fingers viciously tapped away into the late hours of the night. The next day. The bell rang, and students piled in discussing after-school plans, all smiles. Except for one. Marinette, while half asleep, noticed a dismal Adrian stalking in the door, the last one to enter. Marinette patted her tote bag, pulling out a wrapped present. Of course, she wouldn't forget that today was also Adrian's birthday, too. Upon his entry, the class burst into a round of an off-key happy birthday. He forced a smile, standing awkwardly until his friends finished. Wow, thanks guys, it means a lot, he said out of habit, attempting to appreciate their kindness. A crowd formed around him, some patting him on the back and others offering words of encouragement. Marinette took in a deep breath, pushing in front of others. Happy birthday, Adrian, Marinette said, her voice steadier than it had ever been while talking to this boy. Thank you, Marinette. He smiled, seeming genuine. He tucked it underneath his arm. Marinette's eyes flickered from the neatly wrapped gift back to Adrian. You should open it. Marinette tried to hold back from sounding too eager. Okay, sure, he said as he wandered back to his seat. He peeled the paper, revealing a light green scarf. He took it out, smiling wide. Marinette decided to knit him another scarf after the last scarf she made for his birthday he thought had been from his father. He placed it around his neck with a flourish. Wow, Marinette, I love it. Thank you. He turned around in his seat to look at her, only to whip back around before Marinette could respond. Class? Their teacher, who had been running late, stood in front of the room, clapping a few times to get the chatting teens' attention. But Marinette didn't hear a word she said. Her mind raced. Cat's party was tonight, and she hoped everything would fall into place perfectly, just as she planned. Alia patted her leg to comfort her, which bounced restlessly up and down as it often did when she felt anxious. It's gonna be all right. He's gonna love it. Marinette smiled and squeezed her best friend's hand tightly. I hope you're right, Alia. Marinette whispered, barely loud enough for Alia to hear. She scribbled some doodles on her paper rather than taking notes as her professor lectured. The rest of the day passed along exceedingly slow as Marinette slept through most of her classes, only staying awake after Miss Mendeleev made her stand for over half the class. Only a few more hours. As the bell rang, Marinette dashed to Notre Dame to put her plan into action. Cat approached the barely lit bell tower, no Ladybug in sight. He sat upon his usual ledge. Would Ladybug actually arrive? Or had she forgotten like his own father? Not even Natalie had wished him a happy birthday. He wasn't some spoiled brat that needed everyone's attention for an entire day, but was wanting his father to remember his birthday such a ridiculous request. Maybe she isn't coming. As Cat begrudgingly stood, he checked his phone. "Hey kitty, where you going? You didn't think I forgot about your birthday, did you?" In typical Ladybug fashion, she caught him off guard, but this time he breathed a sigh of relief. "Of course not, Ladybug," he lied smoothly, kissing her spotted hand. "I just know you're full of surprises." "I hope so, come on." Ladybug wrapped Cat in a vice-like embrace. "Hold on tight, kitty cat." She swung down, Cat giving a confused yelp until they landed. Her feet touched the ground, yo-yo snapping back into place. The spotted superheroine held Cat by the waist, staring at his emerald green eyes, shining brighter than the stars that slowly started to emerge one by one. "I hope you've had a great birthday," Ladybug said, still holding him close against her. "Now it's perfect." Their faces grew closer and closer until Ladybug broke away, face more red than her suit. "It's about to get even better." Ladybug squealed, reaching for the handle. "How do you get a key for this place?" Remember when Plague thought a piece of camembert was stuck inside one of the bells? So he cataclysmed it, then the building caught on fire? Ladybug teased. "Oh." Cat smiled sheepishly. "Right." The city thought someone responsible should have an extra key in case of any other catastrophes. She giggled at her cat pun, covering her partner's eyes. She guided him towards the door. Cat Noir held out his hands to grab it, pushing it open with a tremendous amount of effort. It swung open, light spilling out. "Surprise!" Ladybug took her hands away from his face to join a chorus of people singing happy birthday. Cat stared, his eyes beginning to water. He looked around and saw every superhero on their team smiling back at him, holding a gift in their hands. "Wow, you did all of this for me?" he said, turning in a circle, taking in the entire scene. The usually lavish monochromatic cathedral had touches of black and green decor lining each wall. "Do you like it?" Ladybug grabbed Cat Noir's hand, pulling him deeper inside the room. Around him stood Rena Rouge, Carapace, Pigella, Ryuko, Viberian. The entire superhero team they had formed over the years stood just to celebrate him. "Like it, I love it, and I love all of you. Thank you." "Don't thank us, dude. Your lady in red planned all of this," Carapace said with a wink, gesturing to Ladybug. His lady. Usually she would have protested this notion, but she took his hand in hers, gently caressing his palm. "Yeah, she called us late last night, sweating about how to pull this together. I'm even surprised she did it." Rena smirked, which caused Ladybug's face to flush with nervousness and just a hint of frustration. "Rena?" the spotted heroine growled. Pigella broke the brief tension with her typical sunny demeanor. "Well, whatever. She did, and I'm so glad. You really are the, cat's pajamas, as they say." She squealed, amused at her own pun. "Yeah, nobody says that." The purple tigress chimed in, followed by a blunt voice saying, "Well, actually." Ryuko dove into a long rant about the history of the phrase cat's pajamas. Cat Noir observed his friends having a great time hanging out, telling stories, and debating who was the strongest as King Monkey challenged Viperion to a push-up contest. Nothing could make this moment any better, he thought to himself. Psst, Cat! Ladybug whispered just low enough not to be noticed. Half her body was through the door as she beckoned for him to follow behind. She whisked him up to their usual patrol spot, and they sat down close to the other. Thank you, Ladybug. Cat interrupted the silence first. I can't believe you would do something this amazing for me. Why? You've been my best friend and my partner. You deserve to be happy, especially on your birthday. 18, right? Cat sighed happily, leaning back to stare at those same stars again. He couldn't help thinking they looked a little more beautiful when he watched them with her. Yep, 18. Finally, I'll have some real freedom. She smiled, placing her hand on top of his, not making eye contact. Yeah, hopefully. I've been 18 for a few months now. I always thought you were older than me for some reason. Maybe it's because you're ridiculously tall, she joked. Shut up, I am not, he retorted, lightly pushing her. Ladybug's musical laugh bounced off the stone walls of Notre Dame. 6'2" is not that tall. It's average. That's just what a giant would say. She jabbed further. They laughed in tandem. Then, as their laughter died down, the only sound they heard was the faint beat of Cat's new favorite song, We Don't Talk About Bruno, coming from inside. He swayed his shoulders in time with the music before turning back to look at his lady, who also rocked back and forth. So, you're 18. You're finally opening up to tell me things about yourself? That's new. She looked at him puzzled. No, I didn't mean anything by it. I like it. It's just, you usually don't because of our identities. So I was just wondering, what changed? He asked the question carefully as if defusing a bomb. Much to his surprise, she smiled. You did? Well, I mean, not really, but kind of. I don't know, it's complicated. What I think I'm sort of trying to say is... Her leg started moving, riddled with anxiety, even while dangling off the ledge. Cat placed his hand on it, making an effort to calm her. Ladybug? He asked cautiously. I love you, Adrian. She blurted out, the words passing her lips effortlessly. His eyes nearly popped out of his face. He gawked at her, trying to form sentences, albeit unsuccessfully. As much as he tried, he could only muster, Wait, no, I'm not. Sorry. She abruptly covered her mouth with her hands. I assumed because I thought you were... She paused, meeting his expectant eyes for only a brief moment. He smiled. Adrian. She loved him. The girl of his dreams loved him. She did love him, right? Adrian was a popular name, so maybe she meant someone else. Whoever you are, I love you, Cat. You know that, right? I do now. The leather-clad hero pulled Ladybug to her feet, holding her tightly. Her cheeks grew rosy even under the protection of her mask. Close your eyes. I have a birthday present for you. He did as he was asked, feeling her breath of his skin, smelling of... maybe vanilla? She moved even closer and placed a kiss on his lips without much warning. His neon eyes flashed open, taking in her porcelain face, with eyelashes nearly long enough to tickle his cheeks. She pulled away from him. Her smile returned. Happy birthday, my kitty. Thank you, milady. Cat bowed deeply, gingerly kissing her hand. For what it's worth, you were right. About what? I am Adrian. Adrian Agreste. The sun settled firmly below the horizon, the only light cascading from inside the bell tower as the party raged on. Her confusion melted away, replaced with that endearing smirk he saw every time she joked with him and made fun of him. I knew it, she said, then her excitement burst like a supernova. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it! She grasped him tightly, kissing him one more time. I love you, Adrian. I love you too. He paused, staring at her inquisitively. He searched every part of her face, wanting desperately to recognize her. One name popped into his mind, swirling around and around until he had no choice but to say, I love you, Marinette. You are Marinette. It wasn't a question, but a statement, further confirmed by the tight squeeze she gave him. This extraordinary moment was interrupted by Rena Rouge, who called up to them. Yoo-hoo! Cat, you're the guest of honor. I've been looking for you everywhere. She paused for a moment to take in their close position, smiling as if she had known all along. Come on, you lovebirds. Come down or I'm going to open your presents without you. She walked back inside, leaving the new couple chuckling. I think she might be serious, Chaton. Ladybug wiped a stray tear of laughter from her eye. We better go. Fine, Cat said reluctantly. But can I give you a present? He asked, and she cocked her head in amusement. You know, for my birthday. Okay. Well, you have to close your eyes, LB. Oh, she giggled. Sorry. Cat embraced her, arms wrapped snugly around her waist. He kissed her deeply, and time seemed to stand still. What had felt like the worst birthday turned out to be the best one. And he didn't even have to blow out a candle to get his wish. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this, please leave me a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Stay miraculous!